Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with how to build a really basic classical music collection. Now, we've covered 3 symphonies, 3 concertos, 2 shorter works, Sibelius's Finlandia and Wagner's Prelude and Liebestod from his opera Tristan und Isolde. The work is long, the piece is shorter. And now we're doing another long title short work by Claude Debussy, the Prélude à l'après-midi d'une faune, the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, based on a poem by Mallarmé. A big long title. What is the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun? Getting up, getting dressed, taking a shower. What are you going to do during the afternoon? Go bowling? It's one of those things. It's a very evocative title that really kind of means nothing when you get right down to it. And the faun in question, which I always thought a faun in French is just, a little baby deer thing. It's not. It's not Bambi. A faun is a satyr. One of those half man, half goat goodies. And they play the panpipes, right? You all see them. They have like little pointy ears and they've got the little panpipe thing where they go like that. And that's what a faun does. And that's why the piece begins with one of the most famous flute solos in the entire orchestral repertoire. Now, people who know this channel and know me know I love talking about this piece because it is one of the few pieces of music to use antique cymbals, which I've played in performances of the work, crotales in E and B natural. And here they are. I love my crotales at the very end. These are tuned metal discs, and you hit them gently on the rims, and then you wobble them to make the sound go wah, 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 like this. Like that, you do that one. And then we have the higher ones. Isn't that cool? Yes, it uses those very softly. So if you're listening to the piece, when you sort of get to the end, you're going to hear that ding, da, 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 ding. Oh, it's so cool. It really is. It's just an incredibly evocative work. It's scored for an orchestra that has a lot of woodwinds and a lot of strings and 2 harps and 4 horns, but no heavy brass, no trumpets, no trombones or tuba or anything like that. And it is the iconic introduction to the world of musical impressionism. Now, Impressionism, as you know, if you've seen Monet's water lilies and things like that, is supposed to be very blurry, sort of Turner's Houses of Parliament, that kind of, soft focused, no hard edges, the rhythm very fluid and slippery. And that's exactly what this piece is. It only lasts about 10 to 12 minutes, thank God. Not saying because you wouldn't want it to go longer, but it's exactly the right length for what it does. And the faun spends a lot of time playing his little flute and kind of drifting around. And it has beautiful melodies surrounded by rippling harps. And if you remember the Wagner Prelude to Tristan and Isolde, this is one of the works which is sort of the natural outcome of that kind of chromatic harmony, that sensual, yearning, unresolved harmony. Each chord is meant to be felt for its individual expressive point, and we're not looking for everything to drive home to a conclusion. The basic tempo is quite slow, and it has, it's just one of those things that every flutist wants to play and harpists like to do, and it sounds like nothing else. It really is an entirely different world of sensual sound, sensual oral stimulation, if you want to call it that. It became a ballet, a famous ballet, which is only a 10-minute long ballet, which is also why it was famous probably, but that was caused a bit of a scandal because the dancer, who was Nijinsky, I believe, as the faun was indulging in some autoerotic suggestivity on stage, which caused a bit of an uproar. But I don't think that's necessarily in the music. A friend of mine actually did say that she found the music incredibly sensual, especially the big climax in the middle, where you have the violins going ya da 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 ba da 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 da, and behind it the woodwinds are going ya da 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 da. These dissonant pulsations. I mean, yeah, there's something sexy in there. I mean, there really is, but it depends on your own. Well, never mind. We're not going there, are we? We're talking about this piece as one of the great works in the orchestral repertoire, and the beginning of a revolution in our concept of sound and harmony and texture. And it's all over in like 10 minutes. So you can take the whole thing in, and you don't even need to get your own antique cymbals. Ooh, they're so cool. I love these things. And I don't get much of a chance to use them anymore unless I talk about this piece. There are a few others that use antique cymbals. Ravel liked to use them. Berlioz uses them in Romeo and Juliet and the Queen Mob's Scherzo section. So yes, you can find them here and again. But oh, what a great work. And I hope that you have a chance to just sit down with it and let it wash over you. That's the whole point of the piece. You're not supposed to think. You're supposed to feel. And that's it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care. Oh, and by the way, if you want recording recommendations, I always list them in the description of these videos. So you'll have a chance to experience the thing in some really fine performances. Thanks again. Take care.